quadratic formula. So this one is the easiest among the four methods because you just need to use the formula, replace A, B, and C in the formula to find the answer. But before we use the formula, let me show you the 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 reason why this formula was created. Okay, so we start with the standard form of quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The standard form of quadratic equation. And this equation will be completed will be applied completing the square to show how formula will be obtained. Okay, so this is the equation, and then we follow the step here. Okay, the first step is to erase ko tuloy muna para mas clear. I will repeat this explanation to be clear sa lahat. How we obtained the quadratic formula. Okay, so blank mo na lahat. Ax squared plus bx plus c is the quadratic formula. So let us use the first step. First step is to divide both sides with a. So may a kasi dito sa x squared. We need first to divide both sides by a. So to do that, we will do this way. Okay, I will copy this one. And then divide a both sides. Okay, sorry. Wala yung equation. Equals 0 over a. Sorry. So dapat equals equals 0 over a. So itong step na to, divide both sides by a. Because there is a number here represented by a, we need to divide both sides by a. Once we divide both sides by a, we will obtain this one. Okay, of course, dividing sorry. I will insert an equation. Okay, dividing ax squared by a will give us x squared. So a will be cancelled kasi may a siya sa numerator, may a sa denominator. Okay? While b, x divided by a, walang maka-cancel kasi iba yung b sa a. Simply write bx over a. Same with c. C divided by a is c over a. While 0 divided by a is 0. Okay, next step. After dividing both sides by a, we will now transfer c over a. C over a will be transferred from this side sa left. It should be transferred to the right side. But the sign will obviously change from positive to negative. Okay, next step, we will now use the same step that we did here in our previous example. Okay, I will just copy this. Okay. We need to identify what is the value of b. B here is b over a. Okay. Ang value ng b is the number together with x. The number together with x is b over a. Take note that b and a are numbers. Okay, b over a. Divide b over a by 2. So b over a divided by 2 is same as b over a times the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. In division, dividing fraction, use the reciprocal of the divisor. Divisor is 2, so instead of 2, 1/2. And then numerator times numerator, b times 1 equals b. And then a times 2, 2a. Okay, therefore, the quotient of dividing b over a by 2 is b over 2a. Square b over 2a. When you say square, b over 2a times b over 2a. Numerator times numerator. What is b times b? What is b times b? B times b is b squared. And then 2a times 2a, 2 times 2 is 4, and then a times a is a squared. So we have the square is b squared over 4a squared. And this will be used here to complete the square. So that will be used here, plus, sorry, plus should be between plus, and whatever we added on the left side should be the same fraction added on the right side. Plus. Medyo okay. Sorry. Yan. Okay. So, simplify. The next step is to simplify the answer. So here, take note here, this is a perfect square trinomial. And then this one should be combined. These two should be combined. Okay? And since here, negative, you have negative, we can write this negative at the end para mas magandang tingnan. I will transfer ko lang change ko lang yung arrangement. Negative c over a was written now last. Yung b squared over 4a squared na nasa unahan. Okay, next step, we can now express the left side as square of two binomials because it is a perfect square trinomial. I will place two binomials. Those two binomials will be x. All signs are positive, so plus, x plus. Another binomial, x plus. And again, you don't need to think of what should be placed here. Whatever answer dun sa pag-divide, kakopy mo lang. So the quotient of dividing b over a by 2 is b over 2a. Just copy this. Put it here. Put it here. Yan, ganun lang. So x plus b over 2a times x plus b over 2a equals, well, the right side should be simplified using the LCD of b squared over 4a squared and c over a. LCD is obviously 4a squared. I will now be copying, just copy this first fraction, minus. The second fraction, c over a, should be a new fraction equivalent to that, but the denominator should be 4a squared. So we copy this, 4a squared. We will rewrite c over a as a new fraction with denominator 4a squared. 4a squared divided by a is 4a. Multiply it with c, 4ac. 4ac. Okay. Next, I will continue the solution. Equals, sa baba na. So the left side can be written as a square of binomial. Again, the left side can be written as square of binomial x plus b over 2a squared. The left side will be now written as square of binomial x plus b over 2a squared. While the right side will now be combined as one fraction. The right side can be written as a single fraction with the denominator 4a squared. Copy the same denominator, which is 4a squared. And then the numerator will be written as b squared. Copy the same, which is b squared. Sorry. B squared. Mali na copy. Replace ko to. Instead na 4a, just copy b squared. And then also copy minus 4ac. So they can be expressed as a single fraction because both of them contain the denominator 4a squared. Okay, next step is to express the right side as square root. So we will now write equals. The left side will be removed, the squared will be removed in the left side. Write x plus b over 2a, sorry, equals b over 2a on the left side, while on the right side, we need to express it as positive and negative, the square root of the fraction b squared b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. That is the square root. And we continue. Since wala lang space here, I will be using another slide. Here, next slide. So, ito na tayo sa point na to. We have this one. Next step, I will just simply copy the left side of the equation. Okay? But the right side will be written as positive and negative. I will express both numerator and denominator as square root. Numerator will be written as the square root of b squared minus 4ac, while the, para clear, dapat extended yung square root niya. So it will be written as so let me use an equation, fraction, and then the numerator will be expressed as the square root of the values b squared minus 4ac, and same with the denominator will also be expressed as the square root of the value is 4a squared. Okay. The purpose of this is to simplify the denominator because the denominator 4a squared can be written as a square root. As there is a square root for 4a squared. So we simply write, instead of 4a squared, we now find the square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? 2. The square root of a squared is a, 2a. Okay. So it gave us a simplified form wherein the only square root is the numerator, but the denominator is now a simple term 2a. And the next step is to transfer the fraction b over 2a. It should be written in the other side of the equation. So from left, transfer to the right. But the sign should be negative because we transferred it from left to right. So negative b over 2a, positive and negative, the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Finally, we write them as a single fraction because both of them contain the denominator 2a. So the final answer will be this one. X is equal to, instead na separate pa sila na fraction, they can be combined as a single fraction as negative b plus and minus, sorry, sa labas. It should be outside the square root. Negative b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is now the quadratic formula. This is what we call the quadratic formula, which will be used in answering any type of quadratic equation. You simply need to replace a, b, and c with the formula, in the formula, to use it in solving problems. Okay, so your activity will be Activity 5. Hello? Can you still hear me? Your output should be answering Activity 5, page 52. Activity 5, page 52. So number 5 po sa page 52, ano po, let us apply the formula in answering the question dito sa example daw. Ito na yung problem. Allow me to answer one question, one problem. 2x squared plus 7x plus 9. Is this the equation? Hello, is this the equation? We will use the formula to answer the problem in page 52, item number 6. Is this the equation? 2x squared plus 7x plus 9.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, yan. So let us now use the quadratic formula to solve this equation. In applying the formula, the first step is to first identify the values of A, number 5 daw. Number 5. Mas mahirap kasi yung number 5. Number 5 is x squared plus 7x equals 4. Ito yung problem. Equals 4. X squared plus 7x equals 4. So the first step is to write in standard form. So 4 will be written in the from right transferred to the left, maging minus 4 equals 0. And then identify the values of A, B, and C. Okay, let us start with A. What is the value of A in this equation? What is A? Anyone? You can give me the value of A? You can unmute your mic. Okay, 1. Right. The value of A is 1. What is the value of B? What is B? B is 7. What is C? Negative 4. So here are the three values of A, B, and C respectively. 1, 7, negative 4. How did we get 1? The number here. If you can see any number here, if you cannot see any number here, that is automatic to be 1. 7 is from this number. Negative 4 is this number. The number without variable. Include the sign. Don't forget to include the sign. Since we know what is the values of A, B, and C, we can now replace them in the formula. We can now use these values 1, 7, and negative 4 in the formula. Yung mga values, and then we write x squared plus 7x minus 4. We will be using a template para madali tayo. Minus 4 equals 0. Okay, instead na, so this one B, what is B? 7. So negative 7. Positive and negative. Here, B ulit, 7 minus 4. A is 1, C is negative 4. Divided by 2A, 2 times 1. Can you follow? Hello? Na-follow yon ginawa ko?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, next. Simplify. So we have here negative 7, and then square 7. 7 times 7, 49. And then we multiply negative 4 times 1, negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4, positive 16. All over 2. And then simplify ulit. Simplify ulit. Negative 7. Ito na. And then we add 49 plus 16. What is 49 plus 16? 65? 65 divided by 2. So x is equal to negative 7 plus and minus the square root of 65 all over 2. How did we get 65? Add 49 and 16 to get 65. And then 65 is a number which is cannot be simplified anymore because the two values, the two factors of that is 5 and 13. 5 and 13. Both of them are prime numbers. 13 times 5 is 65. So you don't need to simplify anymore square root of 65. Stay with that value, write negative 7 plus the square root, the square root, dito pala yung square root of 65, and then the other answer is negative 7 minus. The first answer is negative 7 plus the square root of 65, while the other value of x, ito yung x of 1, ito yung x of 2. Of 1, x of 2. For x of 1, use the positive value. For x of 2, use the second value.